like to call the April 22nd, 2021 meeting of the Burlington Conservation Commission to order. The following notice will be read. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Town of Burlington's Conservation Commission is being conducted through remote participation. No in-person attendance of member will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in this order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen to or view this meeting can do so by tuning into the BCAT Government Cable Access Channel or the BCAT Government Meetings Facebook Live feed, or you can join the meeting over the phone at 408-418-9388. And you punch in meeting number 173-596-3961. If you didn't copy all of that down, you can, I think Eileen is showing it on the screen for a minute or two. You can also get the same information on the agenda, which is on the town calendar. The live video conference, you can click on the link on the Conservation Commission's meeting page or on the Town of Burlington's calendar. Or you can go to WebEx and press join a meeting, punch in the meeting number I referred to, and there is a password there if it's needed. New public hearings tonight will not be closed so as to allow for comments for those who are unable to access or might be uncomfortable with this technology. Comments and concerns regarding public hearings should be emailed to conservation@burlington.org before the next meeting, which is actually May 13th, 2021. The next thing I will do is we will do a roll call. All right, and indicate you are present by saying here or present as I call your name. Commissioner Don Bernston.
Here. Here.
She's absent. Here. Yeah, I got you. Don, I have you. Okay. Gail Lemer is absent. Commissioner Indra Deb.
Yes, here.
Commissioner Bill Boyven.
Here.
Commissioner Jennifer O'Riordan.
Here.
Commissioner Ed Loturco.
Here.
Thank you. Associate Commissioner Kent Moffitt.
Here.
Administrator John Keeley.
Here.
Associate Administrator Eileen Coleman.
Here.
And myself, the chair, Larry Cohen, is present for the commission. All right. Next on the agenda, I'll make notice that on this agenda, as far as I'm aware, we have item number 10, 11, and 12 have been continued until the May 13th meeting. Item number 10 is the Redmond Street roadway. The proponent is Somerset Realty Trust. Item number 11 is number 4 Redmond Street for the same applicant, Somerset Realty Trust. Number 12 is 5 Redmond Street, same applicants, Somerset Realty Trust. These 3 hearings will not be heard and are continued at the request of the proponent to May 13th, 2021. John, is there anything else that is there anything else?
Those are the only continued. Do you want to vote now to continue them, or do you want to wait until later?
Can we do all 3? I see no. Could we have a motion to continue Redmond Street roadway, number 4 Redmond Street, and number 5 Redmond Street, all 3 public hearings to the May 13th, 2021?
So moved. Indra.
Second.
Second. Don, how do you vote?
Yes.
Indra?
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Ed? Is Ed? You're a no? You must be abstaining. I don't know what he's doing. Okay, we'll say it is, the chair votes yes. We have.
Voice.
What was that, Ed? Technical difficulties. All right, we'll say 501. Okay, I can see you, Ed, but I can't hear you.
Going oak.
Okay. All right. All right. So I think he's going to restart up. Next, we have citizens' time. Is there anybody on the phone or in the live video conference here that would like to say something about something not on the agenda? That's what we reserve citizens' time for. If there's an issue you would like to bring up, I would be happy to hear from you. All right, the record should show that there is no one's here for citizens' time. We'll go to item 3 on the agenda, which is the approval of minutes for April 8th, 2021. Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
So moved, Bill.
Second?
Second, Indra.
All right, Dawn, on the approval of minutes, how do you vote?
yes,
Gail? Oh, she's not here. Indra?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Ed, are you with us?
No voice.
I think he said yes. And the chair votes yes. By a vote of 600, the minutes of April 8th, 2021 are approved. Okay, next on the agenda, we have a request for an extension to an order of conditions, Burlington Wetlands Permit 43 South Ave for the Gutierrez Company, DEP file number 122-439. Is there someone here for the Gutierrez Company?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. This is Scott Weiss with the Gutierrez Company. Can you hear me?
We can. How are you today?
Good, thank you. How's everyone doing? Well, it's probably inappropriate for me to ask everyone, so I can focus just on you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Thank you for asking. I'm doing fine
Well,
tonight.
we'll have chaos on WebEx if we do that. Yes, thank you. As you see before you is a request for an extension to the order of conditions issued for 43 South Ave. If you may recall, and many members may recall, this started with the South Ave rezoning back some time ago, but it's the site where the Keurig facility was built. That was originally a 3-building project. 2 buildings of which, 53 and 63 South Ave, were completed, and a partial certificate was issued in 2015. Following that, in 2016, we did amend the plan as Keurig was not going to proceed with the 3rd building. So we modified the original design to allow for the 3rd building layout to be a little bit different than the original design, just to separate it from the other 2 buildings a little bit further. We continue to market that building and site. That the order of conditions obviously was issued and has been extended. And we continue to market the site to potential users. You may also recall that this project overall was the site of a previously contaminated project that was owned by Tyco. I forget what it was called beforehand off the top of my head, but so there's cleanup activities that were undertaken as part of the redevelopment. There's some monitoring and attenuation process that still continues to this day. And the redevelopment was all under the auspices and purview of a couple of different LSPs. licensed site professionals, one that we had, one that Tyco had, so that everybody could oversee it, and was heavily controlled as to how much impervious area there would be and how much infiltration was allowed and all of that. So that was very heavily controlled and determined as part of the approved design. So the entirety of the project was reviewed multiple times. What you have there today is a parking lot at the south end of the site where 43 South Ave, the new building would go. Ultimately, once the new building goes up, there'll be a very slight decrease in overall impervious area on the site, and obviously a change from pavement parking lot for a portion of the area to rooftop area, which would then be a more clean stormwater. So actually the completion of the development will be an improvement over the current condition. But having given you that summary of where it's been and where we are, again, the request is just for a 3-year extension to the order that was previously issued.
Okay, thank you. John or Eileen, what is your position to advise the commission on the extension? And are you aware of any outstanding violations that need to be discussed or resolved?
There's no outstanding issues as far as I know. You've extended this order at least a couple times before. It's also been the beneficiary of at least one permit extension act, if not probably both of the 2 permit extension acts I think there were. But there's really no issues. You've extended it twice before, so I would recommend you do so again.
Do any of the commissioners have any further comment on extending 43 South Ave, DEP file number 122-439?
Nope.
Well, could I have a motion to extend the order of conditions and Burlington Wetlands permit for 43 South Ave for the Gutierrez Company, DEP file number 122-439?
So moved, Bill.
Second?
Second, Indra.
All right, Don, how do you vote?
Yes.
Indra?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Ed? I am not hearing Ed, so we'll assume we won't count him. And the chair votes yes by a vote of 5-0-0. The order of conditions is extended for 3 years.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good to see you. Take care.
Good to see you. Bye.
All right, we're going to move to item number 5. Request for partial certificate has been made for 4 Dartmouth Road. It's called General Walker Estates Subdivision under a Burlington Wetland Bylaw permit. Okay, is someone here for that moment? 4 Dartmouth Road. Unless I don't recognize the name, I don't see anyone. John or Eileen? Do you see, are we in a position in your opinion, to move forward with this in the absence of the applicant?
Yes. So this is, for those of you who went on the site walk, this was an existing house that was initially planned to be demolished and a new house built. This subdivision has gone through more twists and turns over the years. You know, it's been a long process, and at this point, the developer has just decided he's going to sell that lot off with the existing house. Eventually, the old cul-de-sac may become part of this parcel, and there may be then room to build a new house, but currently, apparently, there really isn't. So he's going to sell it as is, and he just wants to detach it from the subdivision at this point. So what you're doing is issuing a partial certificate for this lot only. This is only the one out of the 6 lots in the whole subdivision. Which will just basically allow them to sell it clean to a buyer who will then not have the encumbrance of the rest of the subdivision on their deed.
Okay. All right, let's go around and see if anybody has any comments or questions. I'll start with Kent. Do you have any comments or questions on this one at this time?
Nope.
Ed,
Finally on.
I see him. Oh, hi there, Ed. Welcome.
Hey, God.
All right, we're on number 4, Dartmouth, the request for partial certificate. Do you have any questions for our staff on this one?
No, not at this.
All right, thanks, Ed. Jen,
No, I don't have any questions at this time.
Bill,
Nope, no questions.
Indra,
No questions.
Dawn.
No questions.
All right, I have a question for John or Eileen. The only thing I saw there, there's not much chance of erosion because I think they have nice granite curving over most of it, but there's a driveway cut out where there isn't, and it's not particularly well stabilized. It's not a really hill right there, but I'm wondering, do we need to ask them to do anything further, in your opinion, John or Eileen?
Yeah, Eileen's wandered away from her computer, but we could certainly ask him to put up some straw wattles there before we actually hand him or mail him the certificate.
Right. Something. I mean, either throw some seed down, or I was thinking of, some straw wattles or something.
We can do that.
All right. All right. So if there's nothing further from the commission, could I have a motion to issue the partial certificate of compliance for number 4 Dartmouth Road, which is part of General Walker Estate subdivision under Burlington Wetland Bylaw?
So move, Jennifer.
Second.
Second, Don.
All right. Don, how do you vote?
Yes.
Gail?
Bill's
Oh,
not
Gail's,
here.
she's not here. Indra?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Okay, by a vote of 6-0-0, the partial certificate of compliance for 4 Dartmouth Road is approved. Okay. So. All right, so we're down to number 6. Notice is given that the commission will hold a virtual public meeting through WebEx on a upon request for determination of applicability filed by Victor Columbi. The commission will take all information relating to the proposed replacement of an existing garage within a 100-foot buffer zone to bordering vegetative wetlands. The property is located at 8 Cary Ave. The commission will thereafter issue a determination of applicability. The application's being heard pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, which is the State Wetlands Protection Act, and Burlington Bylaw, Article 14. And a copy of the application is available by writing by email to conservation@burlington.org. All right, so someone here, or more than one even, here to talk about 8 Cary Ave.
Hi, Mr. Chairman. Joshua Bray, the homeowner.
Good to see you, Josh.
You too. Yeah, so what we're planning to do is there's an existing garage. That's a one-story garage that we want to tear down and then rebuild with a bedroom above the garage. So the footprint of the garage will remain the same as the existing footprint. And then in the back, we want to build a little storage unit that would be just the one-story storage unit that would go about 8 feet beyond where the existing structure is now.
Okay. All right. John or Eileen, do you have any comments on this one?
One's me. So as Josh explained, they're just basically replacing. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm sharing, but they're replacing a small garage addition or a small addition with a two-story addition. Because it's a garage addition, it'll be on slab. There's anybody who was out there yesterday saw that there was a chain link fence back across the yard at approximately the line of the wetland. That makes it about 60 feet from the wetland. It's a small addition. I don't have any concerns about this project.
All right. All right. So we'll start with Don. Don, any questions on this one?
No, no questions at this time.
All right. We have Indra.
No, no question.
Okay. Bill.
I have no real concerns. I just want to get on the record that there is a gate in that chain link fence, and just to remind the homeowner that there should be no dumping on the other side of that gate into the wetlands, not even leaves, nothing like that.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Jennifer, anything?
No, nothing to add. Thank you.
Ed, anything to add?
No, none for me, thanks.
And Kent, anything further? Okay. And the chair has nothing further. Is there anyone in the audience for this? This is number 8, Cary Avenue. Is there anyone here for that? I heard some static, but I don't think that was a real person. All right, so the record will show that there's no one in the audience that would like to make comments on 8 Cary Ave. All right, so Eileen or John, I assume you have a negative conditional determination, a draft to review?
We do. I'm just pulling it up now. I sent it to everybody earlier, and I sent it to the homeowners as well. So hopefully that'll pop up in a second. Okay, so the applicant proposed to demolish an existing wooden garage, construct a new two-story garage addition within the buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetlands. The work was located within the 100-foot buffer zone, and the closest work was at least 60 feet from the BBW. The wetland was not delineated, and the Commission makes no formal approval of the wetland boundary under this determination. The Commission is voting to issue a negative determination only for the work as described and as proposed. No removal of trees or shrubs or alterations of naturally vegetated areas is permitted by this decision. All construction, demolition materials and excavated soil should be disposed of off-site in a legal manner. No tracking of sediments onto public roadways shall be allowed, and they should be swept if they do get dirty. No filling or grading on the property beyond what's required for the approval work. And rooftop runoff from the addition shall be infiltrated on the lot and not discharged onto the roadway or adjacent lots. Method of infiltration shall be reviewed and approved by the Conservation Department. Pesticides, herbicides, fungicides should not be used within 100 feet of a wetland unless otherwise approved by the Commission. And members of the Commission have right to enter upon the premises while the construction is ongoing. And these are just a couple of standard conditions about compliance and the occupancy permit.
All right, so Mr. Woodbury, have you had a chance to look at this, or did you hear something that you have a question on?
No, sir. I had a chance to look at it, and I understand all the conditions.
Yeah, these are fairly routine conditions, and it's a negative conditional determination. So what it means is if the commission votes in the affirmative, it means that they think that there is nothing that you're doing that has a potential for something serious to happen to the wetland resource, is what it means.
Understood.
So,
Thank you.
These are very routine conditions that I need. All right, with that, approve a negative conditional determination for the project at 8 Cary Avenue under Burlington Bylaw Article 14 in the State Wetlands Protection Act.
So moved. Indra.
Second.
Second, Don,
All right, Dawn, how do you vote?
yes.
Indra,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
chair votes yes, so by a vote of 6-0-0, a negative conditional determination for 8 Cary Ave is approved. Josh, good luck with your project.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, everyone.
If you have any questions, call the office and they'll be happy to help you out too.
Will do. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Have a good evening. Okay, we are now on item number 7. Notice is given that the Town of Burlington Conservation Commission will hold a virtual public hearing, during which time we will take information related to an erosion and sedimentation control permit application filed by 121 Lexington Street LLC, a demolition and the construction of a new single-family dwelling with associated site improvements at 121 Lexington Street in Burlington. The application is being heard pursuant to Burlington Bylaw Article 14, Section 6. The commission will review information relative to the application and thereafter may issue an erosion and sedimentation control permit for the proposed project. The application is available and may be viewed on our Conservation Commission's website. All right, so someone representing this project is here.
Yes, hi, Mr. Chairman. Joe Curry is here,
Is that
the owner of
correct?
121 Lexington Street.
All right, how are you today?
Good, and yourself?
Thank you, good, thank you. You may, since you're the proponent, you're our guest, you get to go first.
I'm here today for erosion control to construct a single-family home. Right now, the lot's containing just over 35,000 square feet. We demoed the existing 3-family building that was there and disturbed a little bit more than we anticipated, so we applied for erosion control permit for over 20,000 square feet.
Yeah, pretty much it looks like most of the lot was disturbed. Okay. All right, did you have anything else you wanted to say about the project? We can move on if you'd like.
Yeah, nope, I get the plans there, like to pass it around for comments to board members.
All right, very good. Thank you for that. All right, so John or Eileen, do you have comments or issues or concerns or anything you'd like to bring to the attention of the commission?
Okay, it's Eileen again. So just to recap, some of you who weren't at the site visit yesterday, about 3 years ago, the Conservation Commission approved an erosion control permit to raise the existing dwelling and to build a 2-family dwelling at the time. However, there was issues with zoning approvals, and I guess it didn't happen. So Mr. Courier now is proposing to, he has raised this, I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, I made it big so you can see it. He's raised the existing dwelling and he wants to put something smaller in its place. Let me just stop sharing and then I'll share the other one. This is an erosion control permit because as Mr. Courier explained, this is, hang on, let me hit share again. He is, sorry, I can't do 2 things at once. Let me make sure I have the right plan up for you first. Okay. He is proposing to build a smaller house and hopefully, I think his idea is to subdivide the lot. So what you're seeing, we'll see when it comes up, is a sort of aspirational subdivision. So he's going to build this new house on lot A, which is about 20,000 square feet. The plan that I showed a few minutes ago had the existing dwelling right sort of across the boundary of the two, and I believe that he's hoping to maybe sell the property on lot, he's calling lot B. This is an erosion control project. It is not, are no wetland resource areas in the vicinity. This comes before you because he's disturbing more than 20,000 square feet of soil in Burlington. I don't have any major concerns about project in terms of building a new house. But he definitely, in my opinion, would need to stabilize what he's calling Lot B and make it clear what his intent is for that side.
Okay. All right, so I think we ought to go to the commission because I think some of these issues will be flushed out with questions, and then the applicant can just respond accordingly. All right, we'll start with Kent. Do you have any questions on this one? Okay. Ed?
No, I'll hold back. Right now, I don't really have anything that stands right out.
All right, Jennifer?
No, I don't have any questions at this time. Thank you.
All right, Bill?
Yes, the main question I have is, I want to know what was the purpose of clearing everything, including Lot B, cutting down the trees and stripping all the vegetation, taking the topsoil away, if you're only going to be developing Lot A at this time?
Most of the disturbance on the right side was where the utilities were, and we had to get the machine around the house. To demo the existing structure was a very large structure. We needed as much room as we could to get around it. Most of the trees and vegetation were on the left side of the property and in the front of the property where all the utilities were. So those had to be stripped to disconnect, demo disconnect, which is your gas, water, and sewer.
I understand that the previous dwelling did overlap onto Lot B, but it just seems like even along the very far right-hand border, there was major healthy trees taken down that, I would always like to see protected whenever possible. It is only a erosion control permit, so we don't really have say in what trees come down, but, I would always encourage you to keep as many of the healthy, mature trees as possible because it takes 75 years to replace them. Thank you.
Okay, Indra?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, Don?
No further questions.
My only question is, the discharge point is near the driveway. Everything slopes down to that driveway on the right as you face the lot. What are you planning to do to stabilize and so forth? Because you're going to get a requirement to stabilize a large portion of Lot B. Are you planning on some temporary stabilization or some permanent stabilization?
The plans were, once it was all cleaned up, we would hydroseed it, any disturbed areas around the Lot B area. We would just, hydroseed it and let Mother Nature take over.
So are you planning to have equipment go in on Lot B, or most of the action is going to all the construction equipment will be on Lot A?
All the equipment will be on Lot A. Lot B will be closed off. You can see there's a construction entrance on the plan. That's how we're gonna enter and exit off of Lot A.
Okay. Right where it says proposed driveway, it will enter through there?
Correct. There's still some cleanup to do on both, Lot A and balance of Lot B. There's some concrete over there. There was an existing driveway on B as well. There was concrete at the top. That's why we had to disturb, the top right corner to get that concrete driveway. That's where the garage was, the existing garage. So all that will be cleaned up once we mobilize back in there.
All right, so you would not object to us requiring stabilization for the majority of Lot B as soon as possible?
Nope, that's a fair request.
Okay, all right. Well, that's why I asked you, because I'd like to request it, but I wanted to ask you first.
Yes, no, we planned on doing that as well. I just got some concrete work, once we mobilize the equipment back in there. We'll clean up that concrete, then I can stabilize that within, a couple of weeks with the landscaper.
That would be great. Okay, John or Eileen, is there anything further you'd suggest?
I don't think so. As long as lot B gets stabilized, I think we will just, when we write up the permit, we'll be addressing erosion controls, additional erosion controls around the rest of the property. I did let him go ahead with the demolition when he didn't yet have a plan, and he agreed, and Joe did put erosion controls along the front of the site. So he and I will just talk together about what would be appropriate erosion controls, I think.
All right,
So.
all right, so,
Larry, one thing that you guys have been requesting lately is spot grades on the driveway. You might want to request those as well. Just to
okay,
get the water into the trench.
right, okay. That's right. Otherwise, you get a driveway that doesn't necessarily pitch the right way. Okay, so, is there anything he needs to provide? I guess we're planning on closing at the next meeting. Is that correct, Eileen? Closing and issuing?
Yes, provided some financial issues are cleared up. at
Well,
that time.
I'll get to that in a minute, but this is a public hearing, Larry, so you should see if there's any abutters.
Okay.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Is there anyone in the audience for this? 121 Lexington Street.
Hi, my name is Rose Hatch. I am in a butter. I'm on Lexington Street. I just wanted to just review what was being proposed. 2 years ago, it was to raise and rebuild 2 homes, but that was appealed and that appeal was lost. The property is not zoned for 2 properties. My concern with the erosion would be to make sure that lot 2, lot B, is maintained so that the erosion is cleared properly for the unforeseen, future for the potential of not being built on.
Right. Ms. Hatch, what is your address on Lexington Street?
117.
Thank you. Okay. I think the commission would agree with your comments on that one. All right. Is there anyone else in the audience for this, for 121 Lexington Street? All right. So Eileen, that we're waiting for?
So this afternoon, I got an email from the treasurer collector telling me that this property is in tax title and basically requesting that we not issue any permits until that's cleared up. So the applicant should sometime between now and our next public hearing call the treasurer collector and try to resolve that issue. Otherwise, he's actually requesting us not to issue a permit.
Okay. All right, I guess that's on your to-do list, sir.
Yes, I will take care of that.
All right. Okay, so if there's nothing further, could I have a motion of the commission to continue this meeting until May 13th? Is there a motion to continue this hearing?
So moved. Indra.
Second,
Second,
John.
Jennifer.
All right. Okay, there's a motion to continue this hearing for 121 Lexington Street till the May 13th meeting. Dawn, how do you vote?
Yes.
Indra?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
The chair votes yes by a vote of 6-0-0. The hearing for 121 Lexington Street is continued to May 13th. All right, sir, you're all set. You just have,
All right. Thank you, Chairman and members of the board. Have a good evening.
all right, you have a good evening, sir. Okay, the Next item on the agenda is a continued public hearing. This is a notice of intent for 68 Wilmington Road, proposed by Nash Kadir to construct a single-family dwelling, DEP file number 122-658. And some folks here for that one.
I am here, and I believe Andrew Graham is here also.
Yep, I'm here.
All right. All right, welcome to you both. The floor is yours. Please do your introductions and then I guess start talking.
Okay, thank you. My name is Marytrudeau, and I'm representing the applicant this evening in our pursuit of an order of conditions to allow for the continued construction of the house that's being built at 68 Wilmington Road. At the last public meeting, the commission asked for several modifications to the site plan. They asked for spot grades on the driveway. I think Eileen is putting up the plan right now, and we have had those added to the plan. We also discussed the need for permanent demarcation along the 100-foot riverfront area line, and our plan has been modified to show that we will be putting up some type of barrier. And I noted in the draft order of conditions that your department has prepared, they've asked for a split rail fence, and I think that that's perfectly fine. The third addition to the site plan, I'm blanking on, but we did have another request from the commission, and it was added to the plan. I think it's a plan note. Oh, and it says that there are only native plants to be installed on this site. So that further clarifies that the 13 trees that are being proposed as mitigation for the work on this project will be only native species. And that's my presentation this evening.
All right. Let's see, John or Eileen, was there anything omitted and do you have any further comments on this one for the commission?
John might be weighing in too, but I'll just, sorry, for some reason my plan isn't loading. Just to reiterate what Mary said, I think they provided everything that you required. Last week they provided the spot grades. They're acknowledging that they're only going to use native plantings. And as Mary said, we just for completeness, we added a couple of conditions in to highlight the fact that it would be something like a post and rail fence at the 100-foot zone beyond which they're not going to encroach any further. So I don't have any further issues or concerns about this project in terms of environmental impacts, at least.
All right. Okay. How about, why don't we'll start with Kent again. Kent, do you have anything further on this one?
Nothing that Eileen didn't cover.
All right. Ed, anything further?
Oh, nothing to add.
Jennifer?
Nope, nothing to add, sorry.
That's all right. Bill?
No, I think it's looking good. I think the one thing that was added that you couldn't think of was the stockpiling area was added up.
Yeah.
The new house as well. Is any work actually going to take place at the new house as part of this project? I see a new electrical line is going up there, correct? Is there anything else?
Well, the new house doesn't exist right now.
I'm sorry, the existing house I meant to ask.
There may be a slight modification to the driveway because it has to pitch into the infiltration trench. But the existing house is not proposed for renovation or rehabilitation.
Okay, but you are running a new electrical line up to it? Was that what I got?
I believe we have to.
Okay.
And I think they have to have separate water lines, but that house, I actually think there's a second water line. They're replacing the water line.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. We have Indra, anything?
No, nothing further.
Okay. And Don?
Nothing further.
Okay. I had a couple of notes I wanted to ask you about, Mr. Trudeau. One is it correct that you said you could probably do something about removing the lumber or pallets that we saw?
Absolutely. That should be a condition of the order of conditions. We're happy to do that.
Okay, I just wanted to double check. I assumed it would end. Yeah, okay. And the other is, the plan is, I need a microscope to see this plan. So it's like printed it on an 8.5 by 11. So did something about marking the staging area?
I believe
Materials?
that was done. It was designated on the site plan.
And that is on the plan?
I believe it is.
That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
It is on the plan now. It's up above the new structure.
Okay. All right. Even you telling me where it is, even though you're telling me where it is, I still can't find it. Okay, okay.
But Larry, actually, in our draft decision, we recommend not using that area because we don't recommend stockpiling on top of the infiltration system.
Right,
Which
okay.
is only a foot under the surface, and it's Cultec. It's not like Schedule 40 pipe or something that'll withhold a lot of weight.
All right, so they're probably gonna need a staging area.
Right. Well, it can't be in the riverfront and it can't be on top of the infiltration system, so they can figure it out.
If I can interject for a minute, there's room at the top of the driveway. This is a long driveway that goes up to
Right.
the existing house. And there's a turnout at the top of that driveway. We've already talked with the builder about using that for staging and for parking of trucks of the workers.
Okay, that works. Well, I guess as long as you know where you can't put it, that helps. All right, so that's all I have. Is there anyone in the audience for the public hearing at 68 Wilmington Road? Anyone in the audience for this one?
So Larry, I have
All
one additional issue here.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Eileen did prepare the draft decisions, and we were ready to recommend issuing decisions tonight. But I got an email this afternoon from the treasurer collector regarding this property as well, and there's substantial tax delinquency here, and it's in tax title, a lot of money, and they're recommending that we not issue any permits until that's resolved.
So if I can just interject again, this may become a bit of a chicken and an egg situation. This property is coming out of an estate and there is no money in the estate. And in order to convey out the property, we know that all the back taxes have to be paid. And the plan was to pay them at the closing. But the buyer doesn't want to close unless the Conservation Commission issues the new order of conditions. So I'm going to leave it to the board as to how they think this is best handled. We're happy to commit that the taxes will be paid before any construction, commences. But right now, simply, there's no money to pay the taxes. It's an insolvent estate. I should say it's not insolvent, but the only asset of the estate is this real estate.
John, can we issue an order of condition release subject to?
So that's pretty risky actually, because you have to issue the order of conditions within 21 days after you close the hearing. And if it doesn't.
I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah. I mean, I think the applicant should feel comfortable. I think the commission, we have a draft decision ready. The commission has no issues or questions with it. The order of conditions is going to be issued. I mean, I think you can assure the applicant that, once this gets resolved, the order of conditions at the next meeting can be issued.
Okay, I mean, I'll talk with the buyer, but it could get to be problematical.
All right, this is why we have two staff members to work out these kind of problems, right? So, John, or we should not do anything.
You cut out there, Larry. We couldn't hear you.
I assume your position is that because of the tax collector's position on this, we should not do anything and, at this point.
I recommend you continue to the next meeting.
Oh. Okay, well, I guess
Could
there
we,
is,
could the commission discuss the order of conditions so that we could say to our client, we've reviewed the draft order of conditions with the commission and we're in agreement? I think that would be a strong persuasive argument for him going forward.
that might be a good suggestion.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, so Eileen, would you like to do a review? And if there is any questions, we'll get them on the table and we hopefully resolve them. So you can-
Yep, just give me one moment because I didn't think we were going to actually go over this tonight. So let me just open them up. I have them right here. I just hadn't opened them. And I can do that, not a problem. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start with the bylaw. Okay, so I hope everybody can see this. The notice of intent was filed for the resumption of construction of a single-family home with work within the buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetland and within the riverfront area to the Ipswich River. This gives the filing history. This mentions the plan of reference. Proposed work is within the buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetlands. The BVW is associated with a stream that flows through the western portion of the site. The Commission has historically considered the stream to be the Ipswich River, which would give it jurisdictional riverfront area. Regardless of its name, the stream is shown in the regulatory streams map and as such has a 200-foot riverfront area. Recognizing that an order of conditions was issued in 2015 for an identical project at this property, the Commission and the applicant agreed to adhere to the compromise reached in that order of conditions, which was that no work other than utility work in the driveway would be permitted to occur within 100 feet of the bank, but there would then be no restriction in the allowed amount of alteration in the 100 to 200-foot zone from the bank. Given the fact that the foundation and some of the utilities were already present, the requirement for an alternatives analysis was also waived. The applicant agreed to reduce the total footprint of the alteration and to eliminate any proposed alteration within the inner 100 feet other than utility trench excavations within the existing driveway. Most of the rest is as standard. This project is exempt from the mass stormwater management regulations as it's a single family home. Applicant is responsible for obtaining all applicable permits. Everything else here is as standard until we get down to the fact that the commission, once you vote, will grant conditional permission to this bylaw as well as conditions 1 through 54 of order of conditions. And we're proposing a cash performance guarantee in the amount of 2,500. Let me stop sharing and I'll open up the I'm sorry, order of conditions. Okay, it's opening. Again, same plan reference is mentioned here. Proposed activity shall apply with the above reference plan and recorded documents. Most of these conditions are standard, and a lot of them were actually reused from the original order of conditions issued 5 years ago with a few additions. So I'm just going to skip through a few and then we can add in anything else if you need. This order permits work within the 200-foot riverfront area and 100-foot buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetlands. No work within any wetland resource area has been permitted by this decision. The rest of those are standard. Pre-construction conditions are pretty much standard as well. They need to contact the commission before the work occurs, and we will meet them on site, and they will review the order of conditions and all of the evidence that the order has been filed and everything else that's mentioned here. DEP sign is in place. Erosion control conditions. Sediment barriers shall be installed along the erosion line as shown in the reference plan within existing lawn area and shall include, not be limited to, hay bales and sediment filter fabric fence. Materials shall not be stockpiled on the site within 100 feet within the 100-foot inner riparian area or close to infiltration chambers. That's something that Ron had mentioned earlier. Any fill or loam or loose material shall be kept encircled with hay bales and covered and located, not is going to be as shown on the approved plan, because we've just explained that it's close to the infiltration chambers. No dewatering will be permitted in conjunction with these conditions unless Commission has approved. Temporary erosion controls may be permitted on the driveway during utility installation, if any are still to go in. The driveway shall be patched immediately after utility construction is complete. At the end of the workday, the applicant shall mechanically sweep the streets. The Commission reserves the right to require additional erosion controls should that be deemed necessary. A lot of the work involving filling and grading is, well, that one condition is standard, as are most of the pollution control conditions. Any debris that falls into the wetlands or stream shall be immediately removed by hand, and this condition will be noted on their certificate of compliance as existing in perpetuity. The rest of these are standard. Pesticides and fungicides shall not be used within 100 feet of the wetlands, and this condition will be noted on the certificate of compliance in perpetuity. Rooftop runoff shall be infiltrated on site as shown on the approved site plans. An infiltration trench drain shall be installed between the two driveways as shown on the approved plan. Trench drain shall be maintained and not removed while the driveway is present. This condition.
I'm going to be able to drive through.
I'm sorry, what? Were you asking me something? And if the trench drain shall be maintained and not removed while the driveway is present, this condition shall be noted in the certificate of compliance as existing in perpetuity. The 100-foot limit of work shall be demarcated with a post and rail fence, and a sign shall be added to the fence to clearly delineate the no disturb zone in perpetuity. The language on the sign shall be approved with staff. Demarcation shall be maintained in perpetuity and noted on the certificate of compliance. Any subsequent proposal to remove existing vegetation beyond the approved limit of work will require new filing. This condition shall be noted on the COC and shall continue in perpetuity. 30 native trees shall be planted in the area behind the demarcation barriers in the inner riparian. Trees shall be monitored for 2 full growing seasons, and those that fail to survive within that time shall be replaced. The area behind the fence shall be left as naturally vegetated and not maintained as lawn or landscaped area. This condition shall be noted in the certificate of compliance as existing perpetuity. Existing debris on the stream bank shall be cleared by hand. No invasive species may be used in any landscaped area. This condition shall be noted on the certificate of compliance and shall continue in perpetuity. And the request for the certificate of occupancy and certificate of compliance are as standard, just explaining the conditions that are required. And there are 7 perpetual conditions.
All right, so, Ms. Trudeau, do you have any comments on what you've heard? You probably already looked at them.
I had read it earlier today and I really have no comments. I think it's a pretty standard order of conditions and it covers the work that we've proposed on this site.
All right, any of the commissioners have anything to add?
This is Bill, can we vote to approve the order of conditions and the findings without voting to issue the permit? Just to add more weight for the applicant in his moving forward?
So you're just going to vote to approve the conditions but not issue the order of conditions? You could do that.
That's interesting. So that's a first in
It makes
30
a
years.
stronger statement from us.
But yeah, it might give them more weight. I see the point.
How would that sound to you, Mr. Bram, Ms. Trudeau?
I'm good with it. I don't know
All
what
right.
Andy.
Mr. Bram?
He's nodded he's wandered away from his computer, it looks like.
I think
Okay.
that would be a really good gesture of.
All right. Any other commissioners have a question? All right, I have a question. On the order, we have a long infiltration trench. There's going to be construction vehicles running over, heavy construction vehicles, probably running over it on a daily basis. So if that's the case, is it feasible to protect the area from being compacted when you're trying to use an infiltration trench to work and infiltrate? Normally, we would seek some type of protection. It's right down the middle of the site where the vehicles are gonna go. It's feasible to work around that so that it doesn't get compacted. Does anyone have an opinion on this issue?
I
Well,
think,
we could put in a condition that the driveway be constructed last. I mean, they've already brought in all the concrete trucks and whatnot to pour the foundation using the existing single driveway. Um, So apparently their intention was to do the driveway last after the
Okay.
construction was
Does
primarily
that-
done.
Do you think that solves this issue, John?
Did you have another suggestion, Mary?
no, I think that the sequencing of it at the end is appropriate. And when they do the infiltration trench, they excavate out, actually over excavate because they backfill with stone and, perforated lines. So I think that it's all new, uncompacted area.
Right.
The driveway itself doesn't really matter if it's been compacted, but we typically wouldn't install it to the end because we don't want to damage the bituminous.
Right. Okay, so we can add another condition for that order then?
Absolutely.
All right. Sounds good. That's good. Eileen, you got it?
Yep, got it.
Okay. Do we have a similar issue with the Cultex? Because they're self-contained, I'm not sure. And they extend like a foot down and then they're 2 feet after that. They're relatively shallow, but do we need to do anything to protect those areas or is it not necessary?
We have told them not to store or stockpile or drive the heavy machinery over that exact area. Because
You
as John
can
pointed out, they're pretty delicate. They're not.
Can we have a condition that says something about avoiding or protecting the area once those things are installed, or is that?
Yeah, sometimes we put up the orange snow fence at the perimeter of the field, and then we leave that in place until we're ready to landscape it. So putting up some type of fencing wouldn't be a problem.
John, do you have any comments? I saw you talking.
They are installed already, I believe.
Yep.
So we would just be protecting the existing Cultec, not the area where they're going in.
Yeah, but we could put up snow fencing around the perimeter of that field.
All right, so Eileen, would you add that one as well?
Yep, can do.
Okay,
During construction. Yep. Okay, so condition that the
All right.
driveway is ready to go in last and adding snow fence or other fence around the Cultec field during construction.
right.
Yep.
The commission have anything else on this one? All right, could I have a motion by the commission to approve but not issue the findings under Burlington Bylaw Article 14? for this
So
project?
moved, Bill.
Second,
Second,
Se-
Indra.
wait a minute. Yeah, okay, we're gonna leave the hearing open because we want to be able to, in case
Correct.
there's something else that comes up. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to approve but not issue the findings as discussed and presented. Dawn, how do you vote?
Yes,
Gail? Indra? Gail.
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
All right. Jennifer?
Yes.
Ed? Ed, you with us still? I don't see-
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, can hear you now. Okay, the chair votes yes, so the findings under Burlington Bylaw Article 14 are approved but not issued for 68 Wilmington Road. All right, could I have a motion, approve and not issue the order of conditions under Burlington Bylaw Article 14 and the state wetlands? Oh, this is not under the state, is it, John?
This, yeah.
Is this under the
It is.
state?
Yes,
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Okay, it's under the State Wetlands Protection Act and Burlington Bylaw Article 14. Is there a motion to approve but not issue?
So move, Ed.
Second, Bill.
All right, let's go again. Don, how do you vote?
Yes,
Indra?
Yes.
We have Bill,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So the order of conditions for 68 Wilmington Road are now but not issued under Bylaw Article 14 and State Wetlands Protection Act. All right, Mr. Trudeau, Mr. Bram, should be enough, hopefully, to move this project along for you.
Thank you.
We need a,
Thank
we
you
need a
so
vote to
much.
continue the hearing.
Thank you for reminding me. Okay, let's do it again. Could I have a motion to continue this hearing for 68 Wilmington Road to May 13th, 2021?
So moved, Bill.
Second?
Second,
And then-
Indra.
Okay, Don, how do you vote?
yes,
Indra?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Chair votes yes by a vote of 600. The hearing for 68 Wilmington Road is continued to the May 13th meeting of the Burlington Conservation Commission.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
You're
Thank-
entirely welcome. You two folks have a good evening.
You too. Be well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary. Bye.
Bye.
Next is item number 9 on the agenda, a continued public hearing, notice of intent, 59 and 61 Middlesex Turnpike. It's the Nuria Energy Corporation. They are demolishing a gas station and convenience store and restaurant building, which is forget the name of what it was, but it's, and then construct a new gas station and convenience store, 5961 Middlesex Turnpike. All right, some folks here for that one.
Mr. Chairman, Bill Proyer for Reamer Bronstein, members of the commission and staff. We're continued public hearing, so I'm going to introduce Bowler and have them walk through the changes to the plans in response to the commission's comments at the last public hearing.
Please do.
Thanks, Bill. Josh Swirling with Bowler. I was on mute when we just started there. Only been doing it for a year. I apologize. So with me tonight is Dan Wells, our wetland consultant, as well as Andrew Platt and Tom Healy with Noria is with us as well. I'm happy to go through the letter that we provided in detail, or I can give just kind of a quick recap in terms of the responses. We do have upcoming planning board meetings, as well as Board of Health meetings, and it was our intention to hopefully confirm that our responses to your last comments are adequate, and then seek a continuance to allow the other boards to do their thing. And that way, if there's any changes to the plans, we don't have a decision that might not quite be valid in terms of the final plans that are before you. So with that, if that all sounds fine to you, I'll give just a quick recap of responses.
Yeah, you should probably, sir, summarize what's basically your responses, but what's new since the last time we talked.
Sure. So since last time we talked, we provided the commission with an April 12th letter. We've had a design review commission meeting this past Tuesday, discussed some more of the project details with staff. And other than that, it's primarily the letter that's before you, the revised plans that are before you. And the one minor difference is the letter, I believe, says that we're going to only provide granite curbing in specific locations. Since that time, Nuri has agreed to provide granite curbing throughout the site. So if you want me to just go through the letter very briefly, there was a question about whether or not there would be groundwater breakout as it relates to our infiltration system. We went through an exhaustive response to explain that there will not be breakout towards the brook.
Why don't we, I'd like to, sir, I'd like to suggest, why don't we pause at each item? So if people have questions, we can just resolve them and move to the next one.
That sounds good.
That way, so we're talking about the groundwater mounding analysis and we talked about breakout. Does anyone have any comments or to offer on that?
Okay, hearing none. There was a question relative to whether or not the project.
Well, wait a minute. I have a. You modeled a 9-inch storm analysis, and you concluded that the groundwater elevation is at 147.75, 14 below the ground surface. But I think, what wasn't the question whether the groundwater will break out on the slope? Whether the infiltration basin will break out on the slope? It's not where the groundwater is. It's not exactly what you wrote.
So-
What I think if I remember correctly, the concern was that you'd get breakout on the slope. So I'm not really sure how that related.
So in order to establish whether or not there's breakout, what we looked at is distance of the infiltration basin to the bank. It would never flow laterally out to the bank. So what we looked at is is the recharge going down to groundwater and then elevating the groundwater elevation. The mounding analysis shows that it brings it up 9 inches, and in comparison to the elevation of that to the bank, it illustrates that it's not going to break out.
I understand now better. Thank you.
Sorry if that wasn't clear. The next comment was relative to the 80% TSS removal. The revised drainage report and appendix illustrates what the site-specific TSS removal is. It's much greater than 80%. There's a comment about revising the O&M. I'll pause there again. I apologize.
John, that was your comment, I think, or somebody's. Anybody have a comment on that one?
No,
TSS.
we were looking for documentation from the Mass Step or the New Jersey DEP, and they provided it, so we're good.
Thank you. The next one was an easy one, a note in the O&M plan to prohibit use of pesticides and fertilizers. We added that. Similarly, the next one was about O&M and snow storage. We indicated that snow needs to be removed from the site and adjusted the O&M plan. Any questions on that?
Anyone have a question on the O&M plan? Nope. Okay, next.
The next one was a request to clean up the bank, potentially by removing trash, and we've agreed to do that. There was a comment about reducing lawn area on the south side. We added about over 1,000 square feet of native plantings to discourage folks from hanging around on the south side of the building. Any questions there? I can call up the plan if you'd like to.
No, I saw that on the plan. This is Bill, and I think that's exactly what I was looking for, was something like that.
Great, thank you. We discussed the granite curb already. Again, the letter says that it's only in certain locations. It'll be throughout the site.
Let's stop there for a second. Does the commission have any comment on that they're going to keep granite curb, concrete curb throughout the rest of the site? I'm trying to admit. Yes.
So, Mr. Chair, what I was stating is, since the time of this letter, Noria has agreed to placing granite curbing throughout the entire site. So that's something new from what this letter states. There won't be precast concrete curbing anywhere.
That's great. Okay. I assume the commission is pleased with that. seems that
Okay.
pleased.
Um,
All right.
Noria
let's
has looked
go.
at putting solar panels on canopies. They found that it is not feasible. The
Why is that? Why is it not feasible? Why can't you make it so that it would be feasible? Build,
Well,
it's a new building.
I just don't think that they found a technology that works well for their systems. And I believe there's some structural design aspects associated with that as well.
I don't know, it just seems to me if you're making a new building, you can design it however way you want it, and you could design it to incorporate solar into the roof. We can't demand that, but we are certainly, I would just try to encourage it whenever I can.
I understand. The next item was relative to test pits being witnessed by the health agent. We
Okay.
we had scheduled the test pits with the health agent.
Yep.
And she planned to come out there with us the day that we were testing. She had something pop up last minute and asked us to continue with them, and we have since communicated with her, provided her the logs. I don't think there's an issue in terms of the health agent's understanding of what the soils are out there.
Okay. Let's, I guess, move on.
Yep, the underground storage tanks have been relocated just about 15 feet from where they were before. So we've placed them as far away from the brook as we could. There is, some needs associated with getting the fueling operation to occur, the tanker truck to circulate through the site and drop the fuel at the tanks safely and not interfere with people coming in and out of the driveways. So we did locate them as far away as we practically could from the brook. And I believe they're a little bit further away from the existing tanks, and they're obviously state-of-the-art, brand new, all the new testing and spill containment and systems to verify that there's no punctures or leaks. So.
Does the commission have any further comment on the location of the underground storage tank and the fuel dispensing systems?
I think that's
No,
the type of improvement we were looking for, to move them as far away as possible.
exactly. This is Indra. Same thing. I also asked that question if it can be moved further. So they did it. That's good.
Thank you.
Same here with
Glenn?
Okay. I guess someone saying something? No. Okay, let's continue.
Thank you. So then DEP had a comment about providing them with the soil data, which we did. And those are the comments.
Okay, does anyone remember anything further that is either left out or needs further response to? John or Eileen, do you have anything further on this? I guess.
Sorry,
Eileen?
I was unable to unmute while I was sharing for some reason. So no, I mean, as Mrs. Swirling said, the other boards need to weigh in. So, before you finalize this and say, that this is good, and you should wait till the other boards, weigh in. But I think that they have responded to all of your requests. So I think at this point, I think it's good as far as conservation goes, and you should just wait and see if there's any other changes that come as a result of the planning board or the Board of Health.
So I don't know if you've seen a draft set of conditions, but perhaps if we could work on that. I think the next hearing you folks have is going to be before our hearings with conservation, I'm sorry, with Board of Health and the planning board. Our planning board is the May 20th and Board of Health is May 27th. So it feels like maybe we should skip one of yours to get to the finish line here. But if, in the meantime, if we could take a peek at some draft conditions, if that's possible, and we'll be all ready to go. Your second hearing from now, that would be terrific.
All right, John, I assume we could draft something before the May 27th meeting?
We certainly could, sure.
All right.
So,
Go ahead, John.
so the Board of Health is on May 27 as well? So no, that wouldn't make sense. That's when we meet. So does the Board of Health meet before then?
Let me double check here. Bill, do you have that date handy?
Hi, this is Bill. Yeah, that's the date we were informed we'd be in front of the Board of Health, the 27th.
So they don't typically meet on Thursdays.
Usually it's a Wednesday.
But in any event, I would recommend we continue to our May 27th meeting and we can provide them a draft decision before then.
Okay.
Yeah, my suspicion is there won't be a lot of, well, there won't be conditions that are inconsistent with the commission's point of view on this project from the Board of Health. Just based on Christine Mathis's comments and other conversations we've had with her, but but I think the timing makes sense. We should continue this until the 27th, I would say.
I'm just looking at the town calendar. They have the Board of Health meeting Tuesday, May 25th.
5th.
That would be even better.
That makes
25th. That's perfect then.
Okay. Is there anyone, let me ask, is there anyone in the audience for this project, 59 and 61 Middlesex Turnpike? Anyone would like to make a comment? Okay, the record should show no one responded. Okay. All right, so well, it looks like we're going to continue. So if there's nothing further from anyone, I'd have a motion to continue the hearing for 59 and 61 Middlesex Turnpike to the May 27th commission meeting.
So moved,
there-
Ed.
Second.
Second, Don,
All right, Don, how do you vote?
yes.
And Indra?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So by a vote of 6-0, the hearing for 59 and 61 Middlesex Turnpike is continued to the May 27th meeting of the Burlington Conservation Commission.
Great. Thank you all very much. Have a good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a
Take
good
care.
night. Have a good night, folks. Take care.
Bye.
Okay, so as we stated at the initial part of the meeting, items 10, 11, and 12, which is the Redmond Street roadway, 4 Redmond Street and 5 Redmond Street, have been continued at the request of the applicant to the May 13th meeting. Planning board comments. John or Eileen, it would seem that we should give some feed Middlesex to the planning board. Do we have to do the same for 68 Wilmington Road?
I mean, I can certainly give them they need to, the subdivision needs to be extended. So that's their only action, but I'll certainly give them a comment as well on that.
All right. Do we also, should we put in a comment about 121 Lexington?
So the planning board has no jurisdiction on that until he actually tries to subdivide, in which case he has to go with an approval not required to create the law line.
Okay.
I've been speaking to staff about it, though. I've been discussing with planning board staff.
Okay. All right, so we'll send those two items to the planning board. Our comments on them. All right, next is subcommittee and staff reports. Anything we should be aware of? Do we have a town meeting coming up soon? Or is it after our next meeting?
I believe it is the week of the next meeting, I think.
Okay, and we have a bylaw before town meeting, am I correct?
We do.
That is correct, yes. I think I sent you all the wording of the current wording maybe last week.
All right. So who will be presenting to town meeting?
I think it's likely that nobody will. The last time I made a video for the, I'm sorry, are we all speaking at the same time? So I might just update the video.
I think I heard John's comment.
Sound.
Can't hear you,
John,
Larry. You're
can we-
breaking up.
Larry, we couldn't hear anything you said.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Boy,
It's not you, Ed. It was Larry's computer. Larry, the computer's freezing.
Okay.
Bill, what
Oh,
is the format
really?
of town meeting? Is it
That's
all
interesting.
It is hybrid once again.
All right. So
I think it's May 10th.
John or Eileen, will you be speaking? One of you?
Yes.
Okay, other business. Let's move on to other business. We're not making too much progress on that question.
We're not seeing you or hearing you too well, Larry.
Other business. Well. Again. I'm back. Can you hear me now?
We can't
Yep.
see you, but we can hear you.
So close to the finish line. Come on, Larry.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Sort of.
can see you and we can hear you now.
so is
How about
most of
now?
this, yeah. Has this been only happening to Larry throughout
apparently.
the, I've been going.
All right, so
Losing you guys.
is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Ed.
Second, Jennifer.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
It has been
And
moved and
already,
seconded,
it
Larry.
has been seconded already.
All right, we'll
Larry.
quickly go through.
We'll get
I
there.
think we can't hear Larry. We cannot
Bill-
hear you.
Bill,
Maybe we can.
Bill, take over.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's take a roll call vote here. I vote yes. Ed,
Oh,
Yeah,
Dawn,
everybody's tuning out.
Yes.
Indra,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
and Larry. Do you vote yes to adjourn?
Raise your hand if you vote to adjourn.
Of errors, a comedy of errors. Larry, we voted
Okay.
and adjourned.
love this technology.
Yes.